And welcome back, ASCII here with another guide for Banjo Kazooie. Today we'll be taking a look at how to collect all of the Jiggies in Clanker's Cavern. This of course is a pretty challenging map just because most of it is underwater. Kind of goes without saying, but we'll have to be keeping an eye on our air gauge throughout this entire video. As we get started here in this initial room, it's kind of comforting to know that we don't really have to do a whole lot in it. Pretty much the only thing we need to grab here is this yellow Jinjo. I mentioned in the Jinjo guide on my channel that I frequently forget that this room is a thing, so if you're like me, want to be sure to grab that, as you have very little reason to head back to that starting area when you're collecting Jiggies. And as you can see here, I've yet to raise Clanker. I think in the rest of my guide videos, I had already let him up to the surface, so we'll be taking a look at that in this video. We'll be handling that in a little bit, though. I'm going to swim into this kind of side pipe over here. This is where the blue Jinjo is. It is kind of like a horseshoe-shaped pipe or half circle, so you can swim all the way through. That one was on Clanker's right side, his right. And then I'm going to come up for a gulp of air and then head back to the rear room of Clanker's Cavern. This is the pipe with the kind of green pulsating light coming out of it. And as we swim back here, we're going to find a few crabs. I think there's 4 total. And they're going to have some sort of issue with us. I'm not really sure what their problem is, but they're going to say some words and we're going to settle it like men. Bear and crab men. So yeah, we'll just somersault into them and blow them apart. And they will concede, as they should. And that's going to spawn us our first jigsaw piece on Clanker's Cavern. I think the easiest way to get up here, maybe, come on past ASCII, you can do it, is to walk over to that edge of the room there against the wall. Just seems to be a little bit easier to backflip on top of that pipe. And we'll hop up there and grab that, and we will head back out to the main room of Clanker's Cavern. I always kind of wonder what that room is, by the way. There's that kind of sort of cylindrical looking thing in the center with light shooting out of it. I have no idea. Anyway, though, now that we're back out here in the main room of Clanker's Cavern, I'm going to get up to the surface, recharge my air bar, because we're going to be going through this tunnel here, and this is quite a long one. And I won't lie, I died quite a few times when I was much younger playing this game for the first time. It's not so much getting down in here, it's getting out. So that's our second jigsaw piece. And yeah, as you try to make your way back to the surface, you kind of have to swim backwards like this, and your controls are sort of inverted. So kind of as you're swimming out here, try to just keep an idea of what direction you need to be turning you're moving your joystick in order to get the turn that you want, because you don't really want to be getting spun around and stuck in there. Anyway, though, moving past that, again, I'm going to get another gulp of air, and now it's time to swim all the way down to the bottom of the level and unlock Clanker's chain. There's also a Jinjo down here. Now keep in mind, if you are, trying to unlock Clanker's chain and maybe you're also grabbing the music notes and getting the Jinjo, maybe you're doing everything. Obviously, you want to keep an idea of where Gloop the fish is, because he's going to be constantly spawning bubbles, which can keep you topped off. Just kind of relax. You got plenty of time. And that there was me swimming through the key 3 times, which obviously raises Clanker. Also, sorry about the slow frame rate. I meant to turn off frame buffer effects for this video. Forgot about it. I think it's the bubbles. Gloop the fish, he gives you those bubbles to give you air, but there's also kind of like, dare I say, a real-time reflection in them. When you get close to them, you can like see Banjo and all the entities in the map. You can kind of see like you see the Jinjo in the bubble there. Anyway, I think that's what's slowing my system down. So now that we've got the chain unlocked and the Jinjo picked up, we'll swim up here and get our precious performance back. There it is. Alrighty, what next? I think we're going to be hopping on to Clanker's back and getting that Jiggy. I feel like we've done a whole heck of a lot and haven't really gotten a whole lot of Jiggies. That's okay, though. The rest of this level kind of goes quickly, I think. So here we go. This Jiggy, of course, was spawned just from raising Clanker. Clanker being a bro, giving us some Jiggies. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. And now we're going to run up his tail fin, which is going to give us access to this Jiggy over here. Now, I do think this one's kind of slimy. I think this is a slimy Jiggy. That's what I'm going to say. I don't know how you're supposed to know that you can hit that grate and open it. I don't know. I feel like if I was playing this game for the first time today, I'd go up there and see that Jiggy behind that grate and be like, okay, there must be a switch somewhere. So if you were stuck on that one, I do not blame you. You just hit it and it's like a garage door and it just opens. Obviously, right? Anyway, though, moving past that, we're going to hop on top of this bolt that is in Clanker's blowhole. And we're going to ride that up and collect this jigsaw piece. This one doesn't have a grate. And now we're going to hop on down here, and we are going to now shoot out Clanker's teeth. I am told that he wants this to happen. So we'll try to figure out the controls, line up the shot. Please. There we go. Alrighty, and we'll go ahead and swim into the hole that was opened up from us shooting out that tooth. It's kind of interesting. Clanker actually has teeth that you can shoot out on both sides, but in order to get this Jiggy, you only need to shoot out, what would it be? It would be his right, or our left looking at him. The other one is actually optional, but I'm going to go ahead and knock it out anyway, because it seems that he is uncomfortable. What did he say? He's eaten too much garbage and he has a toothache. So I rather like Clank. I don't want him to be uncomfortable, so I'll go ahead and do that dentistry work. I did not go to school for that. It's okay. We won't tell him. We will just send him a bill. Anyway. Now we'll go ahead and enter Clanker's body through his blowhole. Waiting for that bolt anytime, thank you. Alrighty, dropping inside now. This room right here, I believe... Now, I haven't tested this, so I'm kind of saying this without testing it, but I'm pretty sure this is the only way to get into this room that we're looking at right here, is by dropping in through his blowhole. There are 2 exits from this room, but both of those exits kind of lead to like a chute that you slide down. Like, let's take a look at this one right here. See how I drop down? I think even if you were to try and fly up that with that flight pad there, I don't think you can re-enter that room, so keep in mind that if you want that Jiggy, and I know you do, you'll be wanting to drop in from the top of Clanker. And we will cross over using that same flight pad and enter this room. This is where you get the Wonder Wing ability. Had to remember the name there for a second. And what a room to use it for the first time on. So we'll kind of go ahead and go through this garbage disposal here. And grab, what is this, our 8th Jiggy. Now, I believe I mentioned this very briefly in the music note guide, but if you don't have enough gold feathers to make it all the way to the back of that room, you can run quite far through it just by, not using any gold feathers, just eating the damage. Of course, it's going to hurt, and you need to have, you need to be quite healthy to be doing something like that. And, even then, maybe you don't want to risk it. But just saying, you can do that. Again, like I said in the previous guide, there are a lot of gold feathers in this map just because this is the level where you get that ability. So there's a lot of ammo for you to try out that new ability, of course. So maybe it would be best for you to just, go outside, grab more gold feathers, and go in there without, worrying about dying. Anyway, though, moving past that, we're back here in Clanker's stomach, chest cavity, whatever this room is. And we are hopping through all of these rings. Kind of a nice little exercise. You get to use all kinds of different abilities in this game. Backflips, double jumps, diving, what have you. And there we go. That's Jiggy number 9. So we'll go ahead and swim over here. And it was funny. I was zoning out as I was swimming down here. I was staring down what I guess I would call Clanker's esophagus there. And then I was like, oh, this is the wrong side of the room. So we'll just go ahead and do a U-turn and go over to the proper side of this room and collect this Jiggy. So yeah, just to be clear, you don't need to fly across for that. You can jump out of the water and reach this. It's kind of close. It's kind of a tall jump out of the water, but you can do it. And alrighty, now that we have the water level up inside Clanker's body, we can reach this left side passage. This is his left. This leads out through his gills, or in through his gills, depending on which direction you're going. And down in this, little pocket down here, there's the pink Jinjo. And I'm actually going to go ahead and exit Clanker's body through the same gills. Now, if you don't have the water up in Clanker's body, you can just get that Jinjo just by going through his gills. We did that in the Jinjo guide. And we're going to go ahead and stand on Clanker's fin and cross over here, kill this guy, use this shock spring jump pad, jump up here, grab onto this pole, clear this gap, and destroy this grate. And this is actually where the orange Jinjo is. I wasn't going to mention it, but I actually meant to grab the orange Jinjo before we even got Clanker up to the surface. When I make these guides, I usually have a rough idea of like what the route is, and I totally forgot that. I meant to actually end this guide inside with that pink Jinjo. Obviously, it all worked out though, and in any case, that was our last Jiggy for our Clanker's Cavern guide. Like I mentioned earlier, this level is kind of tricky just because of the water. I kind of feel like it's much easier to drown in Banjo Kazooie than to take, a bunch of damage and then die. I mean, nothing in this game deals anything more than 1 damage that I know of. So, like, you have to, like, make a lot of consecutive mistakes to actually run out of health and, lose a life. Whereas all it really takes is getting caught somewhere underwater, getting confused, not knowing where the surface is, and you could very quickly be starting all over. Anyway, though, that's going to do it for my Jiggy guide in Clanker's Cavern. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up next will be Freeze Easy Peak. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next video.